Hello, what you doing?
I don't know, mate.
Oh, she's hilarious. I don't know. What the fuckity fuck do I know?
What did you say?
What the fuck do I know?
What?
A couple of what the fucks.
Welcome, friends and fam, to What the Fuck Do I Know? With your host, Sarah Ford and Nathaniel Rolf. Today we ask, what the fuck do I know?
What?
What the fuck do we know?
What?
And please do tell, what the fuck do you know?
What?
Thank you for joining us as we explore... Wait, what are we exploring?
I don't know.
Yep, here we are. Okay, all right.
Hello.
What do we know?
What?
What do I know? Anyway, here we are again. So, we had our pilot, and as of yet, to be honest, the pilot is unreleased. It will be released soon, and we are recording again another episode of What the Fuck Do I Know? Here we are again. How you doing, Sarah?
Fantastic. The sun is shining. We're recording in the daylight. It's amazing. Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Right.
How about you?
Best day ever. Definitely the best day ever. Oh, I want to tell you an amazing share an amazing story. So I was driving, and just the little examples of things that remind me that it's the best day ever. These little tiny things that happened around me in life. That I was driving, and then in front of me, this truck stopped like pretty abruptly, and there was a WTF moment. What the fuck are these people stopping for? We're driving here. And this mother and this daughter get out of the truck, and they pick something up from the road and put it on the side of the road, and then jump back in the truck and then drive away. And I, of course, had to eye it and see what it was, and it was a little turtle. There was a turtle crossing the road, and they had to pick it up and bring it over, and then there's this person walking the dog next to it. The event happened, and I rolled my window down. We chatted for a second, and he said he's going to bring his son over because they're going to move the turtle to a place where there's water nearby, because the turtle is in a spot where there's really no water. It felt like the turtle should find some water. But yeah, just the little things. That was a little moment of reminding me it is the best day ever.
Yeah, that's lovely. Cute.
But yeah, here we are. Our overall concept is to talk about what, explore what. Don't know till we get here.
Yeah, like we met doing spiritual stuff, didn't we? But it doesn't necessarily have to be spiritual in nature, because we are spiritual beings, so everything kind of is anyway. Hence, we were talking about pranks in our pilot. So we never know what the dart of destiny is going to hit on that wall there, do we?
Right. Never know what spirit's going to choose. Never know what spirit. Here's spirit. Dart of destiny, spirit, whatever terms you prefer. Source, divine source, God, whatever you choose. Yeah. And it's funny because I try hard now because we do message during the week. I try not to talk too much because I want to make sure because we keep on bringing up things that are good that we want to discuss, and then I try not to talk. It's so hard not to discuss. Like I want to discuss, and then but it's like, oh wait, save the discuss until spirit chooses.
There it is.
When it's time to discuss. Also, good moment to bring up and remind anyone that's watching, please, we want to hear any suggestions for topics. Anything that anyone may want to hear, like, I don't know, maybe curious to chat about. And even if if anyone wants to join us in chatting with any topic that Spirit chooses, Dart of Destiny chooses, please let us know. Just I guess for now, I think it'd be just to put out the idea that if anyone does want to join us, just be prepared. We have no idea what the conversation's going to be. So anyway, shall we find out?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Did we do a noise last time?
To be honest, look, I put on the dial. This is the dial tone. There's the dial tone of Spirit.
Oh, there we are. There's the lights.
Yep.
Yay.
I'm wearing headphones this time, so I'm a little tethered.
Yeah.
Dart of Destiny. Here we go. Dart of Destiny. Woo. Oh. Oh my God, there's a lot of words on that one. You sure you want
my.
to do that one? Some of these have like one sentence, and some of these topics are like a little longer. It's how it's written out. I don't know. No,
I
let's trust
imagine
it.
the long worded ones are yours.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
What do we have?
Here's this. That's my current theme song of the. We have just came up with that. Just wrote that.
It's beautiful.
And I just licensed it too. Okay, so I'm gonna try and do this to see if it's even. Oh, it's, on mine it is backwards.
Yes, I can see it. Tamping down the joy, but I can't read the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah, the camera's trying to focus.
It's
so.
my eyes.
Here we go. Spirit has chosen. The dart of destiny has chosen. Tamping down the joy around elements of our lives and things in the world around us due to the not-so-good feeling memories that life experiences bring up. This is one I wrote down because we were having a conversation. Well, at one point, I was talking about how much I love South Park, to be honest, this week, and then you brought up that you typically don't watch it because of an association from your past. Mm. And then actually, I also wrote down because at one point, when we first met, you had this association with the color yellow that was distorted because of a past memory.
Yeah.
That we were able to like, you know what? Forget that. That's your favorite color. Let it be your favorite color. So that's kind of the idea. That it's fascinating that there's so many things in our lives that we live and experience and then attach memories. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm going to turn off the dial tone. Okay. That we attach feelings and emotions to things based on memories we lived through.
Yeah.
From those things.
It's like names as well. Me and my family were discussing this the other day. Oh, I really like the name, whatever. And then someone said, oh no, I remember someone at school had that name. I don't like that name. You know, it's things like that, isn't it?
Yeah. Or like movies. I noticed that there's like movies, shows, things, even movies that I may have loved at one point, then at another point in my life lived through. And it typically, I've noticed, it tends to have for me, it's been an interesting experience of like, why I kind of have a feeling that I create about a subject based on my experience around that subject with someone else. And then, why is it like we allow ourselves, it's like, there's something about that. Why do we allow ourselves? I guess there is, I mean, I'm looking for the gift. I'm closing my eyes. This is one of the things I like to do. Like, what's the gift? What are the gifts in those moments where we allow ourselves to attach that feeling in the first place? Because it's us making that choice. I feel like I tend to feel like anything we do, it's not their fault. It's no one else's fault. That I could say, well, because of them, I don't like that movie anymore. Because of them, I don't like that TV show anymore. But I'm the one who created that feeling. I'm the one who created the emotion.
Yeah. Totally.
Like the radical responsibility type concept I go for a lot. Like, it's my bad, my fault. And it's not that person's fault. I can't be mad at them. I could be mad at them, but that's my bad. That's my choice. That's my fault to be mad at them.
Yeah.
Well, I love the yellow one. If you don't mind, can we talk about the yellow?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, because it's interesting, because yellow was your favorite color. And then there was someone else in your life that also yellow was their favorite color, as I understand it.
Yeah, and then I started liking it.
Yeah, because of a negative experience with that person.
Yeah, he always wore this yellow T-shirt, and then I'm like, flipping hate yellow. I really felt it. Like, I really detested yellow.
Yeah.
And, I really hated it. I hated yellow. It's so strange because loads of things now, like, I've let that go. I love yellow. I love all the yellow flowers, the sun, everything. I feel like it's a really special colour for me, actually, like a powerful colour, like it's the sacral. No, not sacral. What's the chakra, is it?
Yeah, it's sacral.
The power.
That is sacral. The creation.
Yeah, creation. What's it called? Yeah, anyway. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. You know, I'm not very good at the spiritual stuff, so you shouldn't ask me that stuff. Like, which chakra is it? I'm really horrible.
I think this sacral is orange.
No,
but anyway, I always forget this one. It's the next one up in your stomach.
Right.
I always, the power center, and I always forget what it's called. But that's yellow, and I love yellow. I love it, and I probably will get some yellow clothing now. You've reminded me I need some yellow in my life. But yeah, that was really interesting.
But also, it gave you this beautiful moment to re-empower you. Like, that's the thing I love. I love any moment that we're able to find ways to re-empower or empower ourselves into our, like, noticing our noticings in ways that teach us to, or like allow us space to, like, wait a minute. And this is my favorite color. It's going to be my favorite color again. And then there's so many amazing layers of letting go, moving on, moving forward, becoming, allowing then the new space for yellow to be something totally new in your life. That's exciting to me. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I almost feel like I want to do some painting now with yellow, really get involved in it and immerse myself in the yellow. Yeah, funny.
Because I even had it with something like movies, even movies like, just to be honest, I mean, one of the classics of movies of my generation that are a huge part of my life were the Star Wars series, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a point that watching those movies became a whole different thing because of who I was watching them with for a period of my life. Because of those movies became a whole nother story. And that story got kind of projected on and I actually got, I guess I could say, here's an interesting question though. Like, a whole nother version and a whole nother stories and what those movies meant to me changed because I guess it was someone else's version of what those movies were to them, were to them. And I'm saying, like, yes, they projected that version on me, but then I also received it. So this is where I keep going to the radical responsibility. Like, what is the projection and mirror energy of all this world we're in constantly. Like, it's so easy to go into this, well, that person's projecting this on me and that, but I just feel like the radical responsibility of my mirror is my mirror constantly. And that's one of the toughest things, the toughest walks to live, to notice, like, dude, I'm human. It's like, I can talk a good game or only, it's always my responsibility to pay attention to my mirrors in context of other people's projections. But it's also a constant practice and reminder of doing the process of actually doing that. It's no joke, man. It's no joke. It's their story. What is their story, and how's their story create a whole different, like, how I can't love the movie anymore? That's not. It's not cool.
Yeah, and when you're talking about projection, it's just reminded me, like, the stories that people project onto you. Like me growing up, I was always the quiet one, the shy one, the clever one. Ooh,
clever.
In the family, I was the introverted one, and like I took those beliefs fully on for like until kind of just recently I realized I don't think I'm introverted at all. I think I'm quite extroverted, or I'm an extroverted introvert, or vice versa, but people told me things and I believed it and carried it on in this character. But what am I in a different dimension? I might be the other. Who knows? I can't even remember what the question was now.
Does it even matter what the question was? Funny. I don't know. That's kind of the point. I like how questions kind of roll from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And we brought this came up in our pilot episode too, around the introverted element, like, because I also used to see myself as very reserved, and that's one of the ways we're kind of both noticing that we're not so much the quiet one, so much so reserved as we were, or actually I guess I was, but I'm now choosing to notice that, hey, wait a minute, I actually do love, I guess, because is that hermetic? Okay, I'm set. My brain goes in a lot of directions at once, so sometimes I jump. Here I go. I'm going to jump into the hermeticism, right? Because, like, I feel like it's safe. One of the things I've always felt kind of like, am I really a hermit? Am I really just an introvert? Am I really? Is that for sometimes I kind of look at the hermeticism concept, and I totally resonate. And I've lived for many periods of my life as a hermit type personality, but I also like more and more have noticed this new place I'm in. I'm just always allowing for change and allowing for that change to open up into different places within myself is now opening up that maybe I'm not so much a hermit. And that was a very helpful period of my life. That was very helpful for me to do that. It's still helpful for me to go into hermetic modes, to go into that. And I guess I'm saying hermetic modes as in, like, go into my little quiet space and be with my quiet self. But that it used to define myself as that quiet person who's always just being in my quiet place.
Yeah.
But it was more, I guess now as I look back, it really, there was a lot of fear there in the hermetic place where I was, like, it felt safe. Like I would go to my hermetic space because it felt safe. And now I'm more in this space of like, well, if I notice fear there, I want to look, I'm going to look at that fear. I'm going to step towards that fear. I'm going to be in that fear, feel that fear until the fear is no longer, I don't know.
I'm glad you carried on talking after you said about hermetic fate. I didn't know what you were on about.
Oh,
Hermit.
I don't even know what I'm.
You said hermetic. I thought, oh my God. I'm the clever one. I have no idea what that is. And then you said hermit, and I was like, oh, phew. But also, I do hermitize a bit as well. But I feel like I need to because I actually love being on my own. I love it so much. Like, I love it. And it's because I never am. I think that's why I've always, like, some of my family work from home. I'm never on my own. And I just love it. I think that's why I just like going out, walking my dog a lot in the fields. But you just reminded me, because I thought I was a hermit at one point, and then my grandson, I noticed, he said to me once when we were in the car, I said, oh, you're going to a party on Saturday? And he goes, oh my God, I love to party. And he was like, I love partying. And I was like, oh my God, so do I. I like partying. Like, I really do. Like, yeah, but the fear you're on about, I understand. And sometimes I'll like say yes to a party or something, and then I'll be like, the day it's there, I'm like, I don't want to go to that frickin' party whatsoever. Yeah, I realise it's fear, and maybe I don't like the outfit I'm wearing or something. Mainly that is because of that. I'm feeling insecure about how I look or whatever. And then like you go to the party, and then I remember, oh man, I do like partying. It is fun. Like, depends who you're with though, doesn't it? Yeah, interesting. I don't know if you're like me, but I just like being on my own. I like it. Just alone in my own thoughts, but not all the time.
As I check in with myself on that, I'm more in this phase of, because I love social. Like I shared with you this last week, I'm sharing with everyone here that at one point when I took the Myers-Briggs, it's one of those personality tests, and I was literally like 49% on the extrovert side and 51% introvert. Like I was literally, according to that personality test, literally on the line of, so what feeds me changes from moment to moment. And there's definitely moments that I feel fed with just that time to myself. But there's definitely also moments that I love just going to the big events and the big group things where there's honestly, even if I don't know anybody, I'll just jump in and chat about anything.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an interesting, I guess I'm kind of going to segue into, I don't believe there is such a thing as small talk. Let me just throw that out there. I think small talk's a false belief. I think that's, because I feel like any conversation we're having with anyone, you could start out talking about like, oh yeah, I mowed the lawn today, and my lawnmower broke, blah, blah. And oh, look at the weather. Isn't the weather beautiful today? But even those moments, like, because I guess I've heard a lot of things that I'll see on a lot of these feeds sometimes. Like some of the and everyone's where they're at is perfect for them, right? But there's people who express things like, I just can't stand small talk, or I can't stand conversation, that they want to talk about what they define to themselves as the spiritual stuff, or what they define themselves as let's talk about what could be the conspiracies, or the BS, calling out the BS that people love to, conspiracies, or calling out, whatever. And then saying that they can't stand small talk conversations. But for me, like, even those moments of like at the cash register in a grocery store and having that brief moment of, the weather is, it's been kind of a rough week as far as the weather, blah, blah. And having that, I just like, because to me, like, it's giving them that eye contact, seeing them as an actual human being, not just seeing them as someone there to push the buttons and take my money and do the transaction for me. To give them that human moment, that human interaction moment, even if it's just about talking about the darn weather. There's so much more going on there as far as for me to go into the energies. Energetically, I do honestly feel like there's a lot more happening there than just a conversation about the weather.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I think I fall into the category of not liking small talk.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
I really hate it. Unless the small talk is like what I'm interested in. So I don't mind the weather. Like, we're obsessed with weather in England because it's never nice weather. But yeah, I cannot be doing like, like when, I don't know if you do this over there, but they'll go, how are you? And we'll go, fine. And how are you? Yeah, I'm fine. And I'm thinking, what the fuck does fine mean? If you, like, you don't tell the truth, but it would be funny to tell the truth straight away. Oh yeah, I've had a really fucking shit day. I feel like I look like ass. I'm really pissed off with my life. Like, you don't do, you go, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine, yeah. Like, but I don't like, I'm one of these people, I don't like talking the small talk. And it, like, when I used to drop my kids off at school, I used to stand on my own. Because I could not be talking about what their little kid is doing and all the, I don't know, yeah, sorry, that's me.
Yeah, no worries, no judgments.
Maybe.
I do appreciate what you're saying around the not sharing your truth in those moments. Like, there's definitely a lot of glazing over, like sort of just kind of glazing over the depth of what's actually feeling or going on. But that's not necessarily an appropriate time, necessarily what we call appropriate. No, what is appropriate? Like, that brings up a story in my mind. Once I was at a store and I had this interaction with the guy behind the counter. What was it? Because I had I just made a joke. I made a silly joke, like I tend to do, where when I did my card transaction, it asked me to confirm if it said yes or no to the transaction amount. It wasn't a choice. I had to pay the amount if I wanted the stuff. But I made the joke with the guy of like, oh, can I negotiate this? Like, it wants me to hit yes or no. I'd like to change the price. Like, can we? And he was not having it, right? He was just like, he's like, I hear that a million times a day, blah, blah, blah. And then he just went off. He's like, I do not get paid enough for this crap. He's like, I hate my job. He's like, and I don't, blah, blah. He went off. He went way beyond, right? And actually, I at first I noticed myself feeling uncomfortable, like, holy shit, this guy's telling me how he really feels. And then I noticed myself and I was like, why am I uncomfortable with him sharing with me how he really feels? And then I kind of segued into this. I allowed myself to kind of like, I really appreciate that he was being fully honest. Understanding that, yes, in customer service world, we're supposed to always be, have a great day, even though if you're not feeling have a great day. It's like why I appreciate servers in restaurants or places, servers, anywhere that actually are feeling grumpy. Just be grumpy. I'm okay with that. Be your grumpy self. Don't necessarily pretend to always be.
Have you been to England?
I have not been to England.
Well, let me tell you, I've been to America. Came to America ages ago, 20 years ago, and I could not believe how polite everyone was, like, serving me. Like, it was blowing our minds. It was like, oh my God, they're like telling us their name. They're like, thank you, would you like a top up? And we were like, holy shit, they're miserable as hell here. They will not do the smiles if they're not feeling it here. Nah. I mean, I may be overgeneralizing here, but America was much chirpier. You should come and find out.
Well, what's your perspective on that? I mean, do you have a feeling? Do you have a perspective on that? Like,
I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Just they're not like smiling. I mean, some of them are like, but if they're not in the mood, they won't be like chirpy. They'll be like the old guy that was serving you. Yeah, I think it's getting better. I think customer service here is getting a lot better. But yeah, I did notice it was so like, wow, this is different. Yeah, I don't know really why. Don't know.
Because that reminds me of a perspective I used to have around the difference between. Now we're just going to talk the difference between Britain and the U.S. But the difference between what I've seen of Parliament compared to what I've seen of, say, Congress or the Senate. When I've watched, I'm honestly, like in the United States, I tend to watch C-SPAN a fair amount just because I'd rather watch the raw footage of what's happening on the floor of these places than actually like just get the news breakdown.
Yeah.
A lot of it. And like, so I'd rather just see the conversations that are happening on the floor or see the whatever. So, but when I've seen Parliament things, I just love the arguments. Like there seems to be so outright, like just literally just debating and arguing with each other, literally to the point that they're practically yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Yet in the United States, it's from what I've seen, it's a lot more I guess it's definitely more, here's your talking stick. right? You talk now, and you say whatever, but it feels way more scripted to me. The language that's being used and what's being said feels very scripted, and it feels a lot more of either a grandstanding moment or like instead of a dialogue. And I love that Parliament, from what I saw of Parliament more, it was more dialogue, like a group dialogue.
Absolutely. And it's strange, really, because British people are supposed to be more reserved, and you guys are supposed to be more like, way. And then when we're going, I say no to that, you buffoon, in Parliament, it's like, what? And then if you're doing, I have never watched yours, really. I'm not really au fait with all of that. But yeah. Interesting, isn't it? Different cultures and
it is
how we are.
So I'm curious on the tamping down joy around elements of our lives. So because that started out with the energy of tamping down joy.
Oh, I've got something.
Yeah, go for it.
No, with the tamping down joy.
Yeah.
What I'm noticing lately is I've had, and I'm not doing it. Say I'm like, woo, and then a lot of people around me are like, ooh. And then I feel I had a moment in the week when I thought maybe I shouldn't be so perky and happy, because I'm obviously pissing them off, because I know what it's like when I'm miserable and someone's like, they piss me off. So I felt like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be telling them my truths at the moment, and I shouldn't be my real authentic self, and I should just be like agreeing with what they're talking about. Oh, it's so hard. and I'm like, it's so easy and I love my life. And I was like, oh my God, I think I need to tamper myself down, tamper my joy down. Then I was like, hell no, I'm just not going to bother conversing until they might be feeling a bit more chirpier. I've noticed that. Have you ever noticed stuff like that?
Oh, all the time. I mean, because, I've often described myself as a Pollyanna, where I'm just always positive. I always have a positive, I know you say that sucks, but I don't know. I don't see it all sucking. It's not.
Yeah, when you're down there, you don't want to hear that, do you? Oh, yeah.
No, and I get that. So there's been that's an interesting point, because then there's this segue into the empathy element of I think I have more often in my past than I do now done the tamping down, but also not just the tamping down, but then I'll support their feeling like crap energy, or they're feeling like it's all shit energy. I will I used in the past more jump on board with that and join in on the, I guess there's a part of me that does love the curmudgeon energy. This is just crap. What the hell with this crap? Blah, blah. I used to I still kind of appreciate curmudgeons, because I feel like curmudgeons, curmudgeon? Oh, curmudgeon. Curmudgeon is kind of I guess someone who's kind of grumpy and calling out what they feel is crap. Here's the description according to the dictionary on my little device here, that a bad-tempered person, especially an old one. So because it is oftentimes used with elder people who are complaining, the old grandpa or the elder, grumpy energy. And because I also vibe with sometimes just calling out the crap is the truth sometimes, and just being truthful with themselves. They're being very truthful. And sometimes I've noticed as the Pollyanna, maybe I'm just not, maybe I'm glazing over what may not be, maybe I'm just, but then what is truth? Oh, it's a whole other conversation. But, man, because there is so much beauty in just calling it for what it is.
Yeah.
Because what is.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
And it's just perspective, isn't it?
Right.
Everything is we've all had that day when we've had a really bad day, and then I don't know, something's happened, and then hindsight you're like, I can see why that happened now. I'm really pleased that did happen, but at the time you're like, oh God, curmudgeon.
Curmudgeon.
It's shit here. Yeah, funny. Why do you think that older people in general, not all of them, but why is there are a lot of grumpy people? Or is it just because they've got to an age where they feel like they can be themselves and just say it how it is,
It's a
what
really
they're
good question.
feeling. Like, fuck, whatever they get out of here.
It's a good question.
I mean, I'm not saying they're all grumpy because they definitely are
No,
not.
well,
Like, but
there's no everybody's.
there's grumpy in every age, but they're just. No, I know what you're talking about. Funny.
Like, because there is an energy of more likely to say the stuff, say at the family dinner table,
Yeah, when it's not
that wouldn't
appropriate.
usually be said when it would, what we perceive as not appropriate. But why
Yeah.
is it not appropriate to say that?
Yeah. Discuss.
Right? Well, why is it not? Really, for real, like, why is it not appropriate to express
What you feeling?
what said person really does perceive and see as a truth? I don't know. I mean, allow it to be. Why not allow it to be? All these there's so many social rules or social, like, I'm not sure. And I understand, I guess, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of social rules.
No, I guess when you're like on the high, when you're feeling amazing and you're just, they have these times when you feel at one with the universe and blah blah blah, and then anybody could say anything and it would just like rebound off you, like, oh, I don't care. Like, they just said, like, someone's looked at me in a way and I thought, oh, they looked at me in a strange way. Oh, I probably wouldn't have even thought that if I was in a high thing. But if I'm down there and someone looks at me in a way and I'm thinking, oh shit, they're looking at me because I look fat or whatever, I'm like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, when you're at the dinner table and then grandpa's saying, this food is crap, like, it might upset or offend someone. But when you're on that high sort of, you don't care, you just know it's grandpa's problem, not yours. Your food is delicious. Everything tastes delicious when you're in a good mood. Most things, they taste better anyway. And when you're hungry.
There's an element, though, when grandpa calls it crap, that it is suggestive to others at the table, that then, I guess, others
Yeah,
then
and they
that will
agree.
receive that they feel like it's crap, can roll with that. But I guess I'm thinking of a story from my younger years, that someone, because my mother would always make food from scratch, like the actual real ingredients, always make it from scratch. The first time I had a Thanksgiving meal where someone made potatoes with dehydrated powdered potato mix in a box that you add water, I was blown away. First of all, I didn't even know that existed. And then I was looking at the box, and I was just in this mode of just just being who I was, not intending. This was not a malicious intent when I said this, but I said, wow, these look like soap, because it looked like dried soap flakes. It looks like if you had a powdered laundry soap, or I'm like, that's what it looked like to me. So I made the comment in the kitchen. I was like, wow, these look like soap flakes. Not realizing I was insulting the person that was making the meal, but they took it as an insult, and I was just making it out. To me, I was just making an observation.
Yeah.
As though that's just an observation. That's what it looks like to me. I'm not making a judgment on it. I was still going to eat it. I mean, you add butter and gravy on anything, I'm still going to eat it, whatever. So, but what's funny is then when we all sat down to eat, because of that comment, and everyone heard that I made that comment, everyone started to say it tasted like soap.
Oh, no.
So the suggestive
Yeah.
of that moment of saying it looked like soap made everyone feel like it tasted like soap. Literally.
So-
But my intention, but I more and more appreciate the speaking of just the dry, what you could call the dry facts, we'll say. Even, we could play with the word facts all day, but there's definitely what language do we use? But there's facts, there's things that I just love. The more and more I am around anyone, especially like we call neurodivergence, or people on the spectrum, or, will just speak without, there's tend to be like, it's just part of their being to speak without adjusting to social norms, we'll say, or social. And I appreciate those contexts more and more. Just hearing, especially children, is where I hear it the most. Just saying stuff that you're like, shouldn't I be offended right now? Like, or how, like this, why, but why feel offended? Because that person's not intending to offend anyone. They're just speaking what they perceive as a dry fact.
Yeah.
To them.
Yeah.
But I then have these energies that I guess because of how I grew up, that I have this like, wait a minute, that was so mean to say. but that's not mean.
Yeah.
So that's the mirror, I guess the projection mirror question again of like, there's this constant projection mirror happening in all our conversations. It's happening right now with our conversation, that there's the mirror that I see is always how what I'm interpreting, what I'm feeling, what I'm perceiving in context of our conversation. And it's not, you could say anything, and whatever you say, whatever feelings and emotions it brings up in me are my responsibility to deal with. That's my bad. I gotta look at that myself. Even if you do have a malicious intent to being, God, you're such an a-hole, man. I can't stand talking to you. Whatever I feel in response to that is okay. That's that, like, really, I love more and more the sort of the emotional separation of, oh, well, it's okay. Go ahead. Feel that about me. How do I feel about myself? Do I feel like I'm an a-hole? I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I am. And just kind of go through the questions for myself instead of feeling like, oh, you're so mean. You're so mean. I don't know.
Yeah. And I love it. Like, I've only recently started to fully kind of realize what you've been talking about, like the mirroring and people projecting, and whatever they feel is how they feel. It is nothing to do with me. Because you could have a conversation with someone perfectly fine, you think, like you said about the soap flakes, and then they've taken it to heart, and you didn't even try to insult them. You were just saying, I don't know, whatever it may be, because that's happened to me a few times. And I'm like, oh. And then I start like, shit, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And then I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I only said blah, blah, blah. It wasn't even mean. They just took it like that. Like it wasn't even a mean thing. Like nothing. It was just blah. And then I've got to this stage now and I'm loving this. Then I'm like, I just said nothing mean. Let it go. Because the old me would have been rethinking that, hashing that around in my brain for like, I wouldn't have been able to sleep. I would have been talking to everyone. Oh, do you think I said this? Is this mean? And then, no, I'm just like, it didn't come from a mean place from me. They've took it as weird, or they didn't like what I said. That's them, you know. And then you can let it go, because like, so this is only really recent that I've been able to do that though. So like, I'm like really pleased with my growth. Hurrah!
You go, girl. You go. Woo. You've ascended, girl. I can tell. You've totally ascended. Totally.
Well, when you ascend.
I just saw you ascend.
Yeah, and I feel so breathy.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. So awesome.
I'm just grounding in.
But I
Sorry, I had a moment then.
Oh, and if I'm interrupting, I'm not intending to interrupt. So
I'm just gonna drink my yellow juice.
But I appreciate that what you were sharing with me. That you were walking the walk at first around. You were walking the walk of all that, the paths our brains take in context of exploring this. Like, and I feel more and more, for me, the more and more I'm in that noticing, just being in that observing, noticing myself, that walk, it gets shorter and shorter. It gets the letting go part, because you had to walk, you have to walk to the letting go. Like, it's so, I love letting go, the concept of letting go that is so advertised or talked about in these spiritual posts that we see on the social medias. But I also feel that there is a walk we have these programs. I keep going to like these. We're in these coding program places where there's walks to walk to get to the letting go.
Yeah.
So for me, letting go also includes allowing the walk to walk itself.
Hey, you can keep something going around in your brain for decades that you've been trying to let go and you can't let go. There's things, isn't there, from our childhood even, that you've been, oh yeah, but blah blah blah, and then something might happen and it will trigger it off. I don't know, and you're like, oh shit, I'm still scared about that thing, or I don't know. And then you have to walk, you have to do the kind of the work and walk the walk, and then because everyone, like you say, it's just let go, and it's like fucking, it's hard just to let go of something, isn't it? It's hard, or is it? Is that a self-limiting belief?
Mm-hmm. Discuss. That's another one. What the throw the dart of destiny, aka spirit, aka whatever.
I'm just calling in. I'm at the time of my life I just want to call in the ease of everything. Everything is easy and yay and fun. So,
but for me, I'm going to share that more and more. The ease for me, I'm with you on the ease, but it's also allowing what we may perceive as doesn't necessarily feel ease to walk itself. Instead of I guess because I'm gonna go because I really do feel like a lot of these energies because the energy of letting go, like I thought, because how often have you let go of something and then a year later you're like, I thought I let go of that crap.
Yeah.
I totally let go of that crap. Like I worked hard on letting go. I did a whole ritual. I like burned some stuff. I lit some incense. I did a ton of affirmations. I meditated and I let go of that shit. And it's like, well, okay. Well, there's still like these energies. Like I feel like there's the less because there's also denial. Like I feel like denying the flow of these and all of this, because that's all I do feel like it's all energy. Even these thoughts, feelings, emotions, it's all energy to me. And all the energy is gonna be. It's always going to be what it is. But for me, the energy denying, like shoving it away or pushing it and trying to push it away into a corner, to me is not letting go of it. And I feel like so many energies of letting go are kind of end up shoving it into a corner. That's like, well, I'm going to put it into that box, my letting go box. Like letting go becomes another container for it to stay in, to continue to be like a presence in your life. But I feel the more you notice the presence that it already is, and allow its presence to be, and be thankful for that presence and feel the presence and be with that presence, the presence at some point is going to be like, oh, okay, I'm done with you now. I'm gonna go on myself and move on. That's my
Yeah, and also being easy on yourself when you know you've got that presence, and not like, chastising yourself or whatever because I've got this trigger or this thing happened and I freaking can't let it go and it's in that box and God, I should be able to do this by now. And like you say, I've done the meditating, I've been on the Himalayas, I've done all these other things, done the whoo, but yeah, it's still there. But then you just like, hello, I know we're spiritual, but we're also humans. It's okay. We're here for the human experience.
Amen, sister.
I love the human experience.
Amen, sister. That sounds like a beautiful like moment to close. To be honest, yes. Feels like a good closure moment. I love the human experience. The human experience is spiritual in and of itself. It's my feeling. So. Should we do something spiritual to conclude the spiritual human experience?
What are you thinking?
We interrupt this program for breaking news. Over to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Nathaniel. A new study released by the University of You Have Totally Got This has found compelling evidence that individuals who prioritize self-love and follow their passions experience significantly higher levels of joy and life satisfaction. The study concluded with one participant reporting, "Once I stopped trying to please everyone and started painting pictures of chickens in sunglasses, which, by the way, is my true passion, I not only felt happier, but I also accidentally started a 6-figure Etsy business." Another subject who quit their job to become a professional forest whisperer claims that the trees now respond to them. The research team agreed that the joy levels were off the charts and recommended scientifically that everyone go do the thing that makes your heart sing, even if your accountant raises an eyebrow. Over to you, Nathaniel.
Ooh, wow. Thank you for that incredible news, Sarah. In some choose your own adventure news today, did you notice how beautiful that was? If you did notice how beautiful that was, please take a breath for a moment and notice that beautiful again. And if you didn't notice how beautiful that was today, notice how beautiful it is that you can choose to notice that beautiful now or anytime you choose. Wow, what a beautiful. So beautiful. Back to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Nathaniel, for that. That was so beautiful. Oh, hang on. We've got a report coming in from our field reporter, Suzie Shitz. Over to you, Suzie.
Hi, thank you, Sarah and Nathaniel, for that. Yes, it's me, Suzie Shitz, reporting on lots of things important to the world at the moment, including how does one remain joyful or actually become joyful. And I'm going to ask one of the local residents of the epicenter of fun, what indeed do they do to help them become more joyful? Thank you, Madam Tree, for that. That was a wonderful explanation. Back to you, guys, in the studio.
Meanwhile, within an alternate, multi-dimensional realm, parallel to you.
What
It's
should
like
we
a
do?
dance. How about chair dance? Chair dance.
Yeah, like
Chair dance.
this is spiritual.
Woot. Loving the human experience. Chair dance.
Loving the human experience.
Oh, did you just write that? That's awesome.
I know.
You should
should
copyright
write a
that.
song.
All right. All right. Well, I'm going to say thank you for anyone who's here hanging out with us.
Yeah, give us some more suggestions for discussion topics. Or
Yeah,
come
please.
on, tell us below that you want to come on board with us and chat next time.
Yeah, please.
That'd be fun.
Please, please, please. The more the merrier.
More.
Always. The more suggestions for topics. I can't get my. How do I get my? Oh yeah, there. The more suggestions for topics.
Yay.
It's so funny when things are reversed. Anyway, okay, and the better, and the more anyone that's interested in chatting with us, the better.
Just the more.
All right.
Thank you for
Thank you.
tuning in.
Woot.
Till next time. Bye-bye.
We're gonna portal away. Portal away.
Bye.
The people, they laugh and live a night. Yes, they say it's crazy. World out there, so let's go out and play miracles. Nest, we are basically beloved and stranger. Music, I and I want. I live in purpose and live in delusions. Oh, so purity. The choice stops him who says when the dreams play on set. The choice stops him who says when the